to show. All I've got is just for you. You ready for my beef tonight? I'm okay, just treat me right. Come in, me people, come in, me friend. What you gonna do when you come to defend? Question ask, me answer them. Wheel it up and pull it up and mash again. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. Oh, yes.
All right, good morning, friends. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I was so lazy in getting up this morning. I am lazy in getting up. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Make sure y'all push the like button. All right. Shayla has become the moral compass. All of a sudden, Shayla has become a moral compass. Don't know why. I think that there are things to it. Good morning. Let me write good morning in the chat. Good morning. Shayla has become moral compass. So there you go. There you go. So whoop, 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 whoop. Let me retract that. All of a sudden, Shayla has become moral compass. Let me just make sure I write something in the chat. Please hit the like button. There we go. Why do I keep writing that as a question? Okay, yeah. So Sheila has become this moral compass. All of a sudden, she wants to tell us exactly, what should and should not be happening. And I feel like it just fake. The moral compass that Sheila is trying to sell me right now, I'm not buying. I'm just not buying the whatever it is that Sheila is selling. I'm not buying. I just know that much. Let me read y'all's comments, cause let me see exactly how y'all feel about all of what y'all see going on. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday. Push the like button. Shayla knows that if another woman comes in Anthony's life, her honeymoon period would come to an end. That's interesting, Tina, because I never looked at that. I never looked at it that way, Tina. This is very interesting that you've said just now. That's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting that you've said that. Let me jump into this.
Hey,
Hey.
half asleep or you up or?
Yeah, he's still sleeping, but don't worry, I'll get him up in a minute and get him dressed.
Okay, cool.
Do you have a second?
Sure.
Anthony, honestly, I'm not coming to you as your baby mother, but more so just as your friend.
Okay.
Now, I know I said I didn't want to get in your business and I didn't want you in my business, but I actually feel like this involves me.
Again, this does not involve Shayla. I don't know why it is that Anthony or even Amber, but we're talking about Anthony right now. So let's stick where we are. I don't know why Anthony believes that Shayla belongs in his business because she doesn't belong in their business. I don't think so. The only thing that Shayla should be talking about is her child. That's it. Nothing else at all. The writers are trying their hardest to clean up the Shayla character, and I'm still not going for. I just don't see it either. Shayla wants to keep Amber as her anytime babysitter. Exactly. It's fake. Faking all the skits lately. Her and all her friends. Please get rid of of them. It's fake. Shayla wants Anton and Amber together. She doesn't want to lose her babysitters. Exactly. Shayla doesn't want to raise Kai on her own. She don't want to do any of that. Another wife would not allow him to give the kind of money he currently gives to her. He not only support the child but nothing else. He would only support the child and nothing else. That does make sense too. That does make sense. That's my question. Why is Anthony here every day? It's a good question. I don't know why he's here. I don't know why he's here every day now. Basically, he's hanging out at Shayla's house. If you ask me, which is kind of disgusting. I'm gonna be very honest with you. It's a little disgusting that he's hanging out here every day. I'm gonna be very honest. Wanna know me? Only is going to be honest when it's time to be honest. It's disgusting that Anthony is hanging out here at Shayla every day. He's coming over here way too often. I don't be care because I'm glad she told Ant that he will never find a woman like Amber. And I feel like that is even fake. I don't even believe that she's real in her statement. It's all about Amber being the babysitter, less free time with Iman. That's what I think it is. She telling him these things are just a manipulation tactic. That's it. One thing I've noticed is that he never confirms or denies this pending divorce. He's practicing boundaries. You know what? I like that, Margaret. I do like that. You are correct. He has not stated that him getting a divorce or not. He doesn't get into it with other people. But I think he has a motive to it. I think the motive for him is what is it now? It's for him not to look bad. That's what I think that motive is. O'Neill, we all know that they're trying to whitewash Shayla's character, and O'Neill not buying it either. Listen to me, O'Neill is not buying whatever they're trying to do for Shayla's character. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Abby, good morning. She doesn't want to lose her anytime babysitter. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's what it is.
What involves you?
Anthony, do you know you're never gonna have a wife like Amber again in your life? A woman that would take you back and stand by your side after all that you've done to her, you're not gonna find that twice. Amber's a better wife to you than I would have been. So whatever is happening between the two of you, you need to fix it. You have to fix it.
Wow. Hearing you say that, that's crazy.
I really mean it.
Well, we already knew that, Shayla. You never had to tell us that. We already knew that you weren't like wife material. we already knew that. I don't know if she never newsflash. We already knew that. Let me ask y'all a question. Why? Why is she selling this all of a sudden? Some people say babysitting time. It's obvious that the divorce ain't about Amber leveling up. It's about saving Shayla. It's about saving Shayla and Anthony's image. Iman break up with Shayla, she will want Anthony. Well, it's starting to seem like she want Anthony on the down low. It feels like she's a kind of down low kind of woman. In other words, she don't really want Anthony like that. She wants him outside of because of how Anthony's right now, and because she has a child with Anthony. She wants Anthony outside of being any wife. Yep, she's definitely playing both Anthony and Amber. She needs a babysitter and is trying not to lose Iman. That's what I think she's doing. He has shown his hand yesterday. Exactly. And now she'll manipulate it. Anthony is in denial. Shayla wants to be able to chase behind Iman. Don't forget that Anthony is going to pay $4,000 a month for the other babysitter, basically, which we don't see as yet. Shayla will never change. Deep down, she will want Anthony. I'm sick of her. She will always she will keep the mess going. Good morning. Shayla knows that Amber is the only person that would be okay with what she got going on. That makes sense. Let me read what y'all saying. Shayla wants a babysitter. Shayla wants a babysitter, so she can spend more time with Iman. So that's what y'all think. Shayla knows. Shayla knows that fools don't come around. You know what, George? That does make sense. Shayla knows that fools don't come around all the time. You know, them come once in a blue moon. Let me read what y'all say. Why is she doing this? That's the big question this morning. Why can't they build Amber's character like they do the Shayla's character? They're not building it. Them just like you the same Shayla. Shayla thinking that there will not be another woman that will put up with the madness. That makes sense. Wait, Shayla told Anthony what? Yeah, right. That's what I said too. Wayne, why Wayne hurt Amber over and over again? I'm not sure why he does it. and Amber may be writing some of these kids too. No matter what, I would never like Anthony and Shayla's character. I don't like the way that they're forcing this false sense of transformation of the Shayla character on us. I don't ever believe it either. I think it's deceptive. I think that Shayla is being deceptive. Both of them want Amber to stay for their own selfish reasons, and that's why I hope they let the divorce happen, because both of them will not learn until Amber is out of the picture and they have to raise Kai alone. You know what? I like this, Amanita. I honestly do like this. You know what? I honestly do like this. That's why I said, listen to my friends. I'm not against the divorce. I'm not against the divorce. I just wanted Amber to do it right, but I'm not against it. Because I can see that she's being played from a lot of different sides. I hope y'all understand this. Amber is being played from a lot of different sides. I can see that. It's clear. It's evidently clear that she's being played. Them trying to play the woman. You can see that. Anthony over there often because Kai is sick and he's picking him up. All right. That's the thing. He doesn't want a woman like Amber. He wants a what? A hoe? Well, I think him want a Amber, but him just is when him want an Amber for. That's the idea. She just wants them to stay together so Amber can continue watching Kai. Good morning, Charmin. Perhaps hanging out at Shayla will alert him in knowing Amber's next move. So he knows that Shayla talks a lot and would tell him of their interactions. Interesting. Interesting. That makes sense. Babysitter money. Same. Shayla should know. Oh, stop. Why is Siri? I'm just talking each time. Right message, wrong person. Amber's a good wife. I just believe it's a fake message. Shayla, shut your mouth. What what did y'all hear? There's nothing they can do to make Shayla look good. Nothing. No, I'm not accepting the whitewashing of Shayla, friends. Let me just make y'all know this right off of the cuff. Shayla is not friends. Shayla has not changed. Let's just make sure. Let me let y'all know this. Shayla has not changed. Shayla has not changed. Let me just say this because I see the comments are going in that direction. True or false? That's what it is. For O'Neill, Shayla has not changed. I still see Shayla as the op. That's why I want Amber to leave our company. That's what O'Neill says. That's what O'Neill says. Contrary to what y'all think, what Amber fans think, that's what O'Neill says. O'Neill, have you realized that where the storyline is going? Kai is sick from inhaling this. Ooh, that's interesting, Eslin. Hold on, hold fire, Eslin. I like that.
Shayla, I appreciate it, but I don't know what Amber has told you or anything, but it's yeah, it's
Whatever it is, it can be fixed. Now, I had to put my pride aside for my son, and you need to do the same thing. Amber is a wonderful stepmother to Kai, and I don't want to see that go away. So sometimes you're too stupid to realize what exactly is in front of you and what you have. But I'm not going to let you ruin it. So please.
So I see what's going on. Hold on. So basically, Shayla wants to keep Amber because she's a wonderful stepmother because she can get things, for Kai using that because it's still monies. When you're spending on a child, it's still monies that you're spending. So that's what it is. Amber is the woman that will spend money on the child and watch the child for you. Anthony is the father that still as well going to spend on the child and give you monies that you're getting. Now, this is interesting, Eslin. That's very interesting. Is Kai getting sick from the smoking? That's very interesting. I didn't see this, Eslin, and that's why I have so many of you on the channel that are able to kind of pinpoint certain things. I'm just seeing what you're saying. Kai has been extremely sick because of the weed smoking. That's where the storyline is going. That's interesting, Eslin. That's a very, very good observation. Amber is the best babysitter. From the pending divorce, Amber has not kept Kai. It's still in the air and he breathes it in the fabric. Amber doesn't deserve this life with Anthony and Shayla. Every woman deserves to have her own husband and her own children. Shayla and Anthony are both selfish and they should be together. You know what, George? That's what I do say. Because like I said before, and I think Amber fans don't really understand O'Neill's point on all of this. O'Neill is very, I'm not happy with how them treat the Amber character. No, I have my personal growls with Amber, but it doesn't negate. Me have my little growls them with Amber when my character, but it doesn't negate the effects of Shayla and Anthony to Amber. Like I said before, Shayla is the common denominator. And that's why I call out both when they invite Shayla into them presence, I call both out. But in this case, I really have to call Anthony out because Anthony really has pushed it. It's way out of pocket to have like Shayla just running a wreck in a marriage. Believe that he's sick from the smoking inhalation. Yesterday, Shayla mentioned him with Kai wheezing. Malcolm, why is the smoke always in Kai's clothes? I think it makes sense. It's easy to give up. Why y'all pushing divorce so hard? It takes a lot of work and it takes work. The vows say it's hard. Okay. We hear what you're saying, but the problem is with a woman like Shayla, you'll never have a good marriage. Let me go out on a limb, Louisiana, because I'm like you. I would love to have seen the Daltons work, but I'm very concerned that with Shayla in the mix, it's never going to be a good relationship. I'm not even at the support yet. I'm still at the Shayla part. Shayla in the mix, it's never going to work because Anthony has not observed or realized boundaries with Shayla. That's number one. He can't just go in and leave. He can't get a relationship with her based on what they're playing. And Shayla is trying to find ways and means of getting herself attached to Amber continuously. So that's what me think. Trust me, I would have wanted, them to have a relationship, but me does not believe in it anymore. I just don't believe with Shayla around, I don't believe in it. The restaurant could be the cohesive bridge. The viewers have forgotten that Anthony told her that you can't have emotions in business. Correct. Correct. She will never change. Shayla doesn't know how to change. But Anthony, Amber told Shayla nothing. Nobody smokes around Kai though. I think they're playing. Eslin may be right, because she smokes outside, and so the place sometimes smells of weed. Remember, Angelina was talking about it. Angelina smells it on her clothes as well, and if it's on her clothes, then yes, it can get on him as well. I think Evan gave us in ideas of this before that it can happen. Anthony does want Amber as his wife, but he does not know how to treat a wife. They need to get rid of the snakes, Wayne and Shayla. That's correct. I agree with O'Neill. Shayla is just playing everybody because she is a user. That's what I think it is. Shayla will always be Shayla. So no, Shayla has not changed. Always be Shayla. Can't trust her. Don't trust Shayla. O'Neill, they can have a good relationship if they both set boundaries. Anthony needs to stop telling Shayla nonsense. Pick up Kai at the door, drop him at the door, and the same at the house. That's why I said what I said. If Shayla is involved, they cannot have a good marriage. The marriage cannot work with Shayla. The marriage cannot work when Shayla has no boundaries. And that is from both sides, meaning in an Amber face and in Anthony's face. The marriage can't work. As long as we have Shayla in there, it can't work. To smoke around the child for him to catch contact or to get sick from it, that is correct. Shayla is not fooling me. She's not fooling nobody else either. No more babysitting. Let him do it. Anthony can't forgive Amber for sleeping with Wayne. Anthony should lose the money he's hiding, and they should make it be solely dependent on who? On her? Her who? Amber. Sheila has already stated that she didn't give a darn about Kai. If Iman told Shayla he would marry her, there'd be no Kai. She would get rid of him. Interesting. Possibly. Kai doesn't get sick until Iman come back into the house. That makes sense as well. Well, she has been blazing though from the other day by herself. Shady Shayla is finally saying something that makes sense. But at the same time, it's convenient for her to drop Kai off in if Amber is there. So you can't drop him off. So she can drop him off with Amber there. It's kind of fake. Anthony should be with Shana. She will cook for him and rub him foot. That's what we need for me with this because clearly Mishana want him. Clearly Mishana want him. That is true. Both Anthony and Amber does not realize that Shayla is the main cause of their problems. Main cause. Not even Wayne. Okay, and I don't like the Wayne character either. But not even the Wayne character caused as much issues as the Shayla character. And again, me still believe that the Wayne character needs to go too, but right, meaning less contact with them. But even though he's not really been there like that. Anyways, it really is just to be very fair with you is this. To be very fair with you, the Wayne character is brought up by Anthony more than anything else. The Shayla character is always there. To be very fair with you. Really feel sorry for little Kai because Amber is the only person who really cares about how he feels. Well, I think other people care about how he feel. The two of them just don't care. She keeps mentioning pollen and Kai's allergies. She called it pollen when she was trying to hide her smoke on the porch. When Anthony arrived, that's correct. Shauna wants Anthony from the first time he came to the restaurant. Makes sense. I think he is, but Shayla is blaming it on the pollen. Yeah, the pollen argument seems to be an argument they keep coming up with. Good morning, friends. Good morning, those who are just coming in.
For once, think of somebody else besides yourself, which is your son. Think of God.
All right. I heard you.
Hope you did.
Yeah, all that talking don't surprise me. When the podcast begins, Andon will be needing Amber to repair his image. So I think that the way the writers are trying to, well, but how's she going to repair his image though, Shamin? I have to ask that. She needs to grow up and be a better mother and a better parent. She does, Gina. Honestly, I do agree with you, Gina. Will she? I don't know. With the new day daycare school, notice this the skunk stuff smell off of Kai and his running nose and cough. I hope so. Will the new daycare notice that? Possibly. They probably will notice it. Kai needs Amber. Don't care what nobody say. Um, Angelina does not smoke, and Angelina would be able to take him. That's the truth. At this point, Amber is not able to handle Kai. If it was her own kid, I could agree with this, but it's not her child. So at this point, no. Kai has the other. Kai can go with Angelina. Kai can go with Zastri. While I love the whole Amber interaction with Kai, friends, no, no. Let Shayla's family keep her child. That's their child. Amber need her own child. I'm tired of putting Kai with Amber. While I love the idea, friends, Amber needs her own child. I just don't want to hear the hey, if Kai needs to get Amber. No, no. Amber needs her own child. That's it. That's it. That's why Amber need her own child. If there's gonna be any child for Amber, I want Amber to get her own child. Kai can go with Angelina, and that's fine. Kai can go with what do you call it? Kai can go with Zastra, and that's fine. Kai can go with Brody. Kai can go. They have other families there. They do, and the other people they do care about Kai. They do. I don't like the idea of us trying to push Kai onto Anthony. I mean onto Amber. I'm not a fan of it. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of it. Honestly, I'm not a fan of it. Amber needs her own kid. I don't like it because what it does is it is trying to sell the idea of her just being a continuous stepmom. No, she need her own child that she can make her own rules on. More than if can make fair own rules. Fair rules. That's just it. That's just it. End of the day, that's just it. But I'm gonna read y'all's comments. Right, trying to come clean. Shayla, shut up, it won't work. Anthony and Shayla needs to take care of their own child. Thank you very much. Amber needs her own child. Yes. What can Angelina and Anthony teach Kai? Look how Shayla turn out. Well, it doesn't matter what they can teach him, but the point of the matter is this. I don't like the idea of us trying to place her on Amber. Amber have already too much on our plate. If you love Amber, you know while I love Kai, because hey, he's a kid. While I love Kai and I love everybody else, look, she needs her own picnic. That's what it is. She needs her own child, her own kid. The pollen counts is high in Georgia. Yes, Shayla is making a pig's meal, nothing genuine. Don't give the dogs what is holy, and you don't throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample under their feet, may turn to attack you. Need her own child. I agree. Yes, yes, she does, and she needs her own child. I know what you're saying, Angela Atkinson, but at this point, no, I don't want Amber to become in a place again where these she dependent on these people, because then you go and complain and you go and cuss when she get in a little, the halabaloo. Guy needs to go to his grandfather to keep him or whatever else it is. He needs to be with his family. He has other family. They're not like Shayla. They keep them. Shayla needs to stop depending on Amber and Anthony to take care of Kai. She needs to raise her own son. That's it. Me no want put no more pin. Amber need her own child. Yes, I agree. Carla says, Miss Artie says, yes, I agree. Everybody enables this chick. Shayla is very is enabled by everybody. Exactly. Everybody enables her. I hope Amber doesn't have a child with Anthony. She needs a clean break from Anthony. At this point, possibly, because Anthony really has not been dealing with things right. I don't know why he wears. Don't know why she wears the onesies. Well, yeah, the women them wear the onesies. Amber needs to stop watching Kai. Thank you. Thank you. If Amber stays with him, his business partners might think if his wife can look beyond the mess so they can. I see what you're saying, Charmin. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. That makes sense. That's a plausible argument. If Shayla loses Kai for weed, Anton will have to step up and raise Kai when Amber leaves him. And that's what I want. I want Anthony to step up. No, I don't want anyone to bail them out. No. No, I don't want anyone to bail Anthony or think they're out. I don't want anybody to bail them out. No. Everybody keeps bailing them out. Why? 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 They can raise them one kid. No. No, man. No. No. I need them to raise their own child. No. While I love Kai, he is their kid to raise. That's it. Step up and raise the youth yourself. Kai is not her responsibility. Let the two snakes figure it out. Yes. When the time comes right now, Amber does not need a child. The only reason I would want Anthony and Amber to stay together is for Kai to actually have a stable environment. However, that isn't Amber's responsibility. It's time for Anthony and Shayla to face the karma. Thank you. That's the deal. No, while I love Kai, no. Amber needs to focus on the restaurant and not on Anthony and Shayla's child. Thank you. Kai might end up in the system all the weed smoking. He might not, because his grandparents they would call the grandparents before that happens. If the system is to take him, they're going to call the grandparents and they're going to take him. That's how it works. Angelina would take Kai before he ends up in the system. He's not going to end up in the system because of weed smoking. They would come for him, but Angelina would go ahead and take him from whatever it is. She could take him. But I don't want Amber to take him. I don't want to leave that message that Angelina was also a part of the, well, she's a part of the other piece of whatever it is. But the weed smoking is on Shayla and it's on Anthony to deal with. That's what I'm saying. If Amber has a child with Anthony, he will never let her live. He will be on her like white on rice. The writers don't know where to go with this storyline. She defends Amber 1 week, then go on a private play dates the next week. It's sad that it's something else. Let's stop dissecting disrespecting Amber. She has a lot going on. Anthony should look after his son. That's what I think. No. So now Anthony's motivation for saving his marriage is not only his money and his image, it's now also based on what Shayla has said. And for that, Amber needs to get out of this marriage. George, you're right. You're right. That's why I said that. Okay. Yesterday, Anthony has shown me his hand, right? He lost me yesterday when he went over there to go say that he wants to save because of his image. That is the last thing you should be talking about. You shouldn't care how your image looks, knowing what your wife has going on. That should have never come out of your mouth. He lost me yesterday. Contrary to what the Amber fans believe, he lost me yesterday when he started to talk about the image thing. I said, dude, it makes no sense. I agree. Only Amber needs her own children. She needs her own children. Yep. There's no boundaries with Kai. Only is not that I'm pushing Kai and Amber that poor baby does not have stability with parents like Shayla and Anthony. I know what you're saying, but it's their kid. They must figure this out. The lesson though has to be learned. That's the problem. The lesson has to be learned. Or if it can't be learned, let Angelina take him. Just because dumb Anthony is the father does not mean Amber should be the Kai's babysitter. I agree, O'Neill. She needs her own child. But just look here. I want Amber to have the reins over her own child. If there's going to be a child and Amber is going to raise it, it must be hers. She must be able to call the shots. I want Amber to be able to call the shots. Amber needs to call the shots for her own child. That's it. That's it. That's it. She need to call the shots. That's it. No, don't want to see Amber be no glorified babysitter. I don't want to see that. That's a glorified stepmother, glorified babysitter. Glorified babysitter. No way. Shayla and Anthony will start back to be intimate if and when Iman leaves her. And Amber don't need to stick around for these two. She will never find peace with them around her. Do not want to see Kai raising. I do not want to see Amber raising Kai or the friends or friends with Shayla nor Anthony ever again. Amber needs to move on and live on her own. If they're going to separate the stories, push Amber in her own category and push Anthony and Amber and Shayla in their own categories, which they can do, by the way. And it would break off into different storylines. Nobody knows Anthony. He is not a household name. Who doesn't? Who? Christopher, you know what? Anthony is unpopular. Basically, Anthony is saying he is as popular as Wayne. He'll just be another story. They're saying he's a prominent businessman. Does anyone? Christopher said nobody don't know Anthony. Christopher says that Anthony is making it seem as though he's a celebrity. He is not a celebrity. It'll be better to bond with them once she has a baby between them. That bond between him and Shayla tarnished drastically. It would. I once upon a time I thought it would be good for them to have a baby. Right now, no, because Anthony is too crazy. I hope the writers remove Anthony, Shayla, and Kai out of Amber's life. They can do it. Christopher said, O'Neill, seeing that you have mentioned Amber having her own child. She might just be pregnant now. Lord, you know what, Deborah, you're right. I mean, they really don't want to with Anthony either, but they might do it. Knowing the writers, them have a way of trying to see them can prove O'Neill wrong. They do these things to mess with O'Neill. O'Neill, the writers will not do it. No one want to watch Shayla and Anthony. People love Amber. But without Amber in the mix, they're gonna lose viewers. You think so? You not think them watch Shayla them to see what happens? Soon, Kai is at the mansion and Anthony's never home. But when Kai is there, both Anthony is always home. It makes sense. Okay. Trying to read that. It's kind of weird. Okay. Soon as Kai is at the mansion, Anthony is never home. But when Kai is both there. Okay. All right. Give me like a minute with that one there. No, Anthony is just a regular guy with a little change. Tamara can't save that. Isn't that famous? I believe Anthony is a scam artist. Anthony will lose big. Angelina mind is right. Angela mind is not right. Grandpa is nowhere to be found. And the sister don't even have her own place. She's lost everything. The club, her son in her son. Look here, they still can keep the child on their own. No amount of thing there. I know what you're saying, but no. Me know what me don't even want him having a baby with Amber right now. No, no, that's a good question to ask, by the way. Baby between them would be a disaster. I don't want it right now. Them can't even get along. Shayla, them never have boundaries with Shayla. Stop watching Country Wayne. He is showing that he only wants to make money off of showing dysfunctional families. Not all money is good money. Uh, I know that Amber wants a bag, but there are many other ways to get it outside of this podcast. However, I hope the truth comes out on the podcast. I hope they never do the podcast, to be honest. Snakes, as one journey says, if you feel like that, just stopping just because the money and having play dates without Amber's knowledge. She should. You see, that's why I said Sheila is hypocritical because 1 minute she's on play dates and the next minute she's talking about, she don't want Anthony to lose Amber. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. She's not real. Here it is. As soon as she picks up Kai, um, Anthony is never there. But when Kai is not at the mansion, Anthony's always home. Make it make sense. It don't make sense, Toby. You are absolutely correct. I see a message now. Thank you very much for reposting it. If it became necessary for the Brodies to raise Kai, he will step up and take him out of the shadows. Correct. They can raise Kai by themselves. In fact, it might bring Angelina and Brody back together. It might just be. Do you want to see Amber and Anthony, because people keep asking this, have a baby? Honestly, my answer to it is no. Yes or no. My answer to it is no, and I'm telling you why. Like I said before, Anthony still has not changed, so it's not going to change anything. I thought it would have. Honestly, long ago I thought the baby would have changed something, but it wouldn't have. Only if you don't want the podcast to happen at all. If so, what? Well, I want the podcast to happen, but I just don't want Amber on there as no business personnel. I want her to work on her own thing. I want her to succeed outside of these women. I don't think the podcast adds any value to her life. It's just a waste of time. She needs to move on and move in her own lane. That's what I'm saying. So this is the baby question. Somebody ask the baby question. Nope. No. 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 I guess it's a no. Kai's biological dad will take care of him. No. 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 Two snakes slithering. Never. No. I used to believe this, but my answer is no. Never in this lifetime, even another lifetime. No. 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 Anthony does not love Amber. No, exactly. That's why I say no too. I know y'all asked this. No. 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 Negative. Not anymore. He's a bad father. Yes. Who say Irene say yes? Why Irene? Why? Oh, no. If Amber get pregnant by Anthony again, He would stress her out again and she would have another miscarriage. No, but I have a feeling that Amber might be pregnant. All her mood swings could be signs. Interesting. Interesting. Want Amber to have a different life other than Anthony and Shayla? No. Podcast will be a disaster. Too many bosses and not enough workers. That, yes, yes, Brittany, yes. I love this. I love this, Brittany. I love this. I think they're going to throw Tamara out of it. Yes. Too many bosses and not enough workers. And I've noticed a new thing. This boss chick mentality is going too far. It doesn't allow for team effort because everybody is the leader and everybody can't lead at the same time. You just can't. You can't lead at the same time because you're going unless you're not going in the same direction, which still don't make no sense because you must be following some directive. No, the more Sheila advocates for the marriage, the more I want the divorce to happen. Yes, Tamrock, I'm with you as well. The more Sheila advocates for it, the more I'm even saying, you know what, never mind. That's why I want Amber to leave. Sheila treated the woman for a spa date with money from Anthony and Amber's joint account. Really? Amber paid for everything. Correct. Correct. Good morning, goddess. Run as far as can. Keep trying to force the audience to with Shayla. It won't work. Trust me. It won't work. It will not work. I don't think it has a valid to her too. But I want it to happen so people can find out Shayla slept with Anthony when he was drunk. And Abby, she's not going to do anything because Tamara is hell bent on whatever she finds out. It doesn't matter what you tell Tamara. Tamara is a ride or die friend. Tamara has already told me everything, Abby, based on how she treats Chantal. Tamara has already let me know who she is. Tamara is willing to forgive Shayla, but her good friend that she knows from way before, Chantal, and her at that spot, and she can't forgive her friend. That tells me everything I need to know. She's a loyalist. That's what she is. She's a loyalist. If Anthony loved Amber, he would have changed and treated her better after taking him back. He would have. He just hasn't. All the person these kids are untrustworthy and no pride in themselves. They're not a pride in themselves. It's true. That's true. Don't think Sheila can hold a storyline without. Why I don't think so? I think they can. I think okay. They might break them up and then bring them back together again when them rebuild. See, I think that they could. This is what I believe they can do. They can break the characters up and build them separately, then put it back together again. I think them can do that, and it could work. You may not like the Dalen stories, but people still watch it. If people keep watching Mike, you can watch the Daltons again. You can watch Amber by herself, and you can watch Shayla by herself, and you can trust me. You will watch the different by themselves. If they do it right. Let me say it that way. If they do it right. Amber does not need to be in the podcast. Tamira has have a podcast with her friend. Correct. Should have had a podcast with her friends day one. This is my thing. You know what? Hold on. Let me ask the question to the audience. Maybe O'Neill is wrong. In your estimation, will anything make a difference for Tamir at this point? Anything at all? Exactly. If they don't throw Tamir out of the podcast when she hears Amber's plan, they will vote her out and she's going to run back to her actual friends. I just don't believe at this point anything moves Tamir when it comes to Shayla. I just don't think so. You'll have to show me this one. But I'm gonna put it in the chat, Abby. Will anything change anything for Tamira? Exactly. Tamira is the worst kind of friend. Right now, she is a loyalist to Shayla because, of course, whatever Shayla provides her. But I don't see it making a big difference. It just won't make a difference. want Amber to be on the podcast because I'm looking forward to the podcast with Amber. She does not need to be on the podcast right now. She needs to be focusing. She needs to be focusing on her business. That's what Amber needs to be doing. None of this does anything for Amber. Amber, okay, y'all want Amber to get a divorce and want her up on the podcast. I think you need to pick one thing or the other. And the thing I think you need to pick is Amber doesn't need a divorce and then to do her own thing. The podcast is unnecessary. Let the dragons then bring that out on the podcast on their own. Let them go do that on their own. It doesn't do anything for the Amber character. It doesn't do anything for her. But O'Neill, who cares about Tamara if she wants to be a loyal friend? Because someone was asking, someone was saying that Tamara, someone was saying that Tamara might change, her thinking after hearing what Amber says. And I'm saying it won't change. Tamara, ride or die for Shayla. That's it. Amber just put Amber on the podcast for one episode so she can tell how Shayla pursued Anthony. If you want to do that, fine. But for her to be in podcast business, my answer is no. It's too much. It's too much. I mean, they need to show her winning at the restaurant for a long period of time. That's what O'Neill wants to see. They need to show Amber winning at the restaurant for a long period of time. That's what I'm saying. Get rid of the teapot girl. Tamara is a fool for Shayla. Correct. No. Podcast will not last. Negative. Amber do not need to be on that podcast to focus on getting the restaurant going to be like she's supposed to be. That's my take. As well to like yourself. That's what I want her to do. Marquez, you've made a lot of comments, I mean, I think I missed them. Every time I'm about to read one, I've missed it. Marquez, you've made a bunch of comments, but every time I make one, I miss it. I don't know why. I feel like I've made a lot of comments and I miss it. I keep seeing your name, and every time I go to read one of your comments, Marquez, I miss it. There are so many comments coming in that I miss the comments very easily. Marquez, where your comment there, Marquez? Been trying to. Marquez, I've seen one of your comments before. One moment here, friends, because I'm trying to see if I can make sure I read as many varying comments as possible. I do try, friends. Please don't take your time with O'Neill. He tries to read all of the comments. He tries. I try. Marquez, I'm gonna say a comment from my. See, it's gone. It's gone. I can't even find a comment from you, Marquez. Marcus, just know that I see your comments. I keep seeing them, and every time I'm about to click on one, it leaves me. Amber's age should not be a factor in why she shouldn't be on the podcast. Not like she owns, but more business of women that could do something more. Okay, all right. Tamara's moral compass has changed for Shayla. Correct. The podcast is going to be a train wreck. The writers are working overtime to redeem them snake character. It not gonna work. Redeeming Shayla won't work. Who is worst, Tamara or Pia? I'm not sure. The comments go really fast, people. They go really, really fast. Some people comment, and every single time I try to see a comments, I try to pull it up. It gone. I want to see Amber in her restaurant from now on. Forget Shayla and Kai and nasty Shayla. That's what I want to see. Amber needs to be selfish with her writing and write herself on some boss energies. I think that's what people want to see. Sorry, I made a mistake in the last post. No problem. I see it. That's no problem. It's all right. The restaurant is just to make Amber look stupid and look bad, no matter how she's trying to build the restaurant. You know what? I think the restaurant is to build Amber. I actually believe that. I actually disagree with this. I believe the restaurant is there to build Amber, meaning it is to show Amber's transformation, because everything that happens in Amber's marriage, the restaurant, I think, is a representation of Amber's marriage. Is what I believe. The restaurant is a representation of Amber's marriage. This is what I believe. I'm going to debate on this one here. O'Neill, Amber has set the table before in the presence of our enemies. She needs to enjoy her table, enjoy the restaurant, and bill it. The restaurant, to me, the restaurant is like it's something for Amber to succeed at. Here's why I'm gonna say this. If the restaurant is a representation of how Amber's marriage has been, lack of boundaries, think of the different people in there. Shana, no boundaries. Shana remind me of the side of Anthony that just decided it can just do anything it wants to do. It's erotic, very mercurial. It will do a bunch of different things. You have to know when to engage it and when not to engage it. Then you have Keisha, great friend in the restaurant, but Keisha has also shown me that she's lazy. Based on yesterday, I'm just going off yesterday that she has tendencies of being lazy and of being too much. So basically, she has some of the Shayla thing inside of her. It's not all the way there, but it's still there. So she represents the Shayla in basically in the restaurant. If you just look at the restaurant, just look at the restaurant. Pay attention to the restaurant. If she can solve the restaurant, she can solve many other things because the restaurant is representing how she's managing things. Just like how she was unprepared in the restaurant yesterday, she unprepared in marriage. She never prepared for Shayla and Anthony, and rightfully so. When she took Anthony back, she never prepared for that. I'm telling you, look at that restaurant. Just deep dive the restaurant in your mind. Rethink the restaurant and look how Amber is in the restaurant, and you'll see what I'm saying. Charmaine, you're talking nonsense. Dave is working for Amber. He does not have a say in what she does. Correct. Amber needs to win. She's the only one that lost most between Anthony and Shayla. That's a good question. When is dumb Anthony going to meet Dave? Not sure. Tamira's moral compass has changed for Shayla. I also think that Amber's energy is too diluted. Yes. Yes. She needs to focus on the restaurant on her own. Yes. So see, it's showing you her lack of focus. It lacks even focus because there is no focus. The restaurant is a very good representation of what is happening in Amber's life. I think that's why them give it a restaurant. If she can solve the restaurant, believe me, she's going to be a whole different person in the marriage. She probably might leave, whatever it is. Just like she needs to fire Shana, that's how she needs to fire Anthony. That's why I'm say the restaurant is balancing out the same way. She'll eventually flip the restaurant and make a profit when she gets up and running and it is successful. That's when her mentor, that gentleman, does. That's what her mentor. That's what the mentor want to do for her. Think about it, friends. Think about the restaurant. I want you to really think about the restaurant. Exactly. So Shana is just like Anthony. Shana is Anthony. Them can be honest, but them can also be condescending. Too much. Over the top. Did Anthony get served? Not yet. We're still waiting for him to get served. But O'Neill, where's everyone else's lesson? Shayla, Angela, and Anthony. Nothing has come to them. They are still winning. Anthony has his money and Shayla has a rich boyfriend and vacation and home. You're not seeing it, Trapstar, because the Amber character is so well written. She has so many good villains that they're able to give the lesson through Amber, if that makes sense to you. Amber is the one that they're using to give the lessons. Also, remember, if Amber gets a divorce, when people ask, Amber is going to say it's because she couldn't get over Anthony having a baby with Shayla, which will only make Anthony look bad. But Shayla makes sense. Think about the restaurant. The restaurant is very integral. Shana is like an Anthony, the same way them behave. Them entitled. Them think them whatever it is. Just like she got into a bad deal in the marriage. Look at it. Look at this, friends. Marriage is a bad deal. Restaurant is a bad deal. I'm telling y'all. Look at this, friends. Just like the marriage was a bad deal, the restaurant was a bad deal. True or false? I'm telling you, I'm watching it, and every time I watch it, the more I look at the restaurant, I say, the more I realize whatever it is. That's why I love the restaurant scenes, because the restaurant scenes, I think, are the biggest. They are the biggest blueprint to Amber getting better. The marriage was a bad deal. Them signed a bad deal contract because of the whole thing with the Wayne thing going up to the marriage was a bad deal. She should have never gotten it in the first place. She never really loved him in the first place, basically. If she was a second films, don't marry like that. You don't love him, don't marry. You never ready with Wayne, don't marry. Then she get in it, then no Anthony start doing something, so it make it even worse. Marriage is a bad deal. It's a bad deal all over. The restaurant are the same thing. It come with Shana. I'm showing you all how the I'm showing you the what you call it, the similarities. Look at the similarities. Bad deal. As a business owner, I know how much love and consistent energy we need to put into something like that to make it grow. So I believe that Amber is playing with Shayla and these low women. Thank you. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Uh, Waste of time. While I love Keisha, Keisha has shown me, right? While I love Keisha, while I love Keisha, Keisha is also showing me that Keisha is a little bit, she might not be ready yet to an extent. Now, let me see. I'm going to watch some more, whatever. I'm going to watch some more skits because she said some things, sure. Just like Sheila can say some things. But Keisha is also showing me some level of entitlement. Where she don't remember say it's a business. That's what it is. Just like how Sheila don't remember that it's a marriage. I'm just showing you. I'm just kind of trying to show you guys the things that I see. Maybe you don't see it, but me just showing you what I see. I'm just showing you what I see. Me showing you what I see. Read some comments. False. Not a good comparison. All right. Tell me why not. The marriage was bad faith. The restaurant was bad faith. Yes, the restaurant's a lesson. And I don't see it as a bad deal. The restaurant was a bad deal. Here's why I say it was a bad deal, because of how they signed it. Yes, it's a good lesson because she's going to get the lesson, just like the marriage was a good lesson. But it was a bad deal. When them signed the deal, it was a bad deal. Putting Miss Shana as a person that you always have to keep is a bad deal. Not being able to fire Shana is a bad deal. Not being able to change the name or whatever else it is that Miss Shana is telling you you can't change is a bad deal, because you basically can't manipulate it. You don't have as much control over it. That's a bad deal. That's why it's a bad deal. No, they will have to fix it to make it a good deal. Fierce Capricorn. But that's why it's a bad deal. Amber needs to learn to boss up and boss up. That's it. You're right. The marriage can't work. If Shayla and Kai are part of it, them just still a part of it. It will take Amber to get a minute to get the restaurant running the way that she wants to, because she also needs to get reconstructing as well. Exactly. And the reconstruction is going to come from, first, the contract needs to be redone. That's why I was saying it's a bad deal. On paper, it's a bad deal. Can't get rid of Shana, you mad? That's not a great deal. Imagine you bought a business from me, Fierce Capricorn, and you cannot get rid of me. In the deal, it says you can never get rid of O'Neill. What? That's not a great deal. What do you mean? That is not a great deal. That is not a great deal. That is not a great deal. I believe Amber might attend the podcast, and she should focus on correcting. Might not attend the podcast. She should focus on improving the customer service in the restaurant. The customer service yesterday was not great. Correct. So that's correct. Now, if she focuses, she can start to Correct. It can turn into something good, but the deal was a bad deal. How they sign a contract on paper, that's what the deal is. Yes. The podcast is like another relationship for Amber. It won't work out. Thank you very much, Brittany. So focus on the restaurant and the friendship first. Business was slow, and Keisha got used to it that way. So she doesn't know. It doesn't matter. What's his name? Okay. Here's why Keisha's thing. What's the name of the guy? What's the name of the guy in the restaurant? What is the name of the guy in the restaurant? This is why this now is going to become a thing for Capricorn. Fierce Capricorn. The guy in the restaurant was just like Keisha. They're in the same restaurant where it was slow for both of them. But he came there yesterday and was serving way more tables and helping way more people than Keisha was. Once him come there, Keisha stopped work. John, thank you very much for the name. John. When John came yesterday, John started the work by himself. Keisha was basically at the counter. That is not good. that is not good. So if you want to say it's because it's slow, well, what happened then when John come? I'm telling y'all, while I love Keisha because Keisha is very, very funny, I'm watching the character very well. I'm watching the character because she was also very rude to the customers. She's learning a great lesson because her and Anthony um, snake Wayne and Rolanda out of the restaurant. That too is true. That's why it's a bad deal. There must be a stipulation in the contract that allows her to fire Shana. There isn't one. That's what I'm saying. There isn't one, Fierce Capricorn. They've done a stipulation. Them have to keep her. They tried to look at it and they said they couldn't fire her. That's why Onila say the deal in its inception is not a great deal. No. Can they do some things like, for example, sell the business and rewrite a contract? Probably. But this current contract is not a good contract. That's what Onil was saying. That's correct. That's why Onil was telling what he's saying. Amber needs to focus on the restaurant and not the podcast. Thank you very much. A dime on it or find a billing. Okay. A dime on it or find a billing or get the furniture. So where the audacity she get the nerve from to call the shots. Right. But it's in the paperwork where Mishana is cannot be fired. That's what's going on. You cannot transfer blame on the workers. You look at the system for that is right. But we're talking about my comment one journey was toward looking at the restaurant. I was trying to look at the restaurant and look at this is what the idea was. I was trying to get an image of the restaurant and Amber's marriage and seeing like similarities to both of them. Yes, the system that is created was not great, and that's why we said it's a lesson. That's why we say it is indeed a lesson. The restaurant is indeed a lesson. It is indeed for her to look at the system of the restaurant because I think it holds a lot of key into how our marriage went. That's what I was saying. Doesn't matter, was Keisha there to work? Amber is the owner, and Amber and John was working the restaurant while Keisha was flirting. Thank you. Only don't read the first one. Sorry. Okay, no problem. That's all right. I'll read the next one. Amber should add the restaurant. Amber should add to the restaurant, so she may not be able to get rid of Shana, but she can add to the kitchen. Maybe she should put some money into hiring cooks. Eventually, she probably can. I don't see nothing good that Keisha being nosy. Keisha is starting to show me other things to her. It seems there are various completions in the restaurant among amongst Keisha and John, Amber and Shana. You talk competitions. Think I was saying competitions. Keisha is very disrespectful. Yesterday she disrespected the guests. That is unacceptable. That you know. Let's get into the Keisha character. She was very disrespectful, and that is unacceptable. Keisha should be reprimanded for what she did for sure. Thank you. But I'm showing you how she's able to do these things. I remember when Amber was mad at Anthony for keeping Shauna on. It feels like Anthony set up the restaurant to Amber to lose so he could throw it in her face. Probably. Y'all have said that. But I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. I agree that there are a lot of is the similarities I'm looking at, Gina. I'm glad it's what I'm saying. It's almost like you could look at how it's manifesting in her. You can see how however she does things in her marriage manifests into her restaurant. It's almost like she transfers it over. That's what I'm saying. Now I said all the way 100 because of course there's no 100 absolute. There are no absolutes. I'm just giving you, don't think Anthony snake Wayne out of anything. Wayne really didn't want to be in the restaurant. He was supporting Rolanda O'Neill. If Amber buys the restaurant, then she could change it. Yes. If she buy it, then she probably could do that. I believe that Anthony redo the restaurant behind Amber's back because how this come up yesterday that they can't get rid of a chef without Shana's approval. They can't get a chef with exactly what I'm saying. I want to play. Angela, thank you very much for seeing those points. You're even making my argument stronger to the people that I'm telling them why the deals are terrible. If Amber buys Anthony out of the can he fire Shana? I think so. I think so. Depending on what them, I think that she can. I think that them can buy her out. I believe so. I think them can dissolve it. I think they can dissolve the business. I think they can do that. Some way, some of them can dissolve this business. I believe this. That them can dissolve this business and get Shana out. I think so. I believe so. There are no boundaries in the marriage or the restaurant. Yes. Yes. This is as clear as day. Thank you very much, Gwen. The restaurant and the marriage now have no boundaries. Think about it. That's why I talk about the similarities. No problem, One Journey. Maybe the papers Ambrose was talking about was to do the restaurant and not the divorce. Possibly. 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 I think for some reason, either the podcast won't happen or Amber will not be on the podcast. I don't mind Amber being a guest because she can promote her restaurant also. Expose Shayla. That's what I said. If you wanted her to be, look here, if people are saying Amber going to be a guest, I'm okay with Amber being a guest. I just don't want her to focus on the podcast because I don't see the value in it right now. Because I feel like her restaurant has more to give her than this podcast. Amber could get a franchise out of the restaurant if she does it right. And that's a different level of business than just a podcast. Eventually, she can do her own podcast. Think about it. She can do her own podcast about business. These girls are not in Amber's league. If they're going to be talking about dating, them in Amber's league. As much as Marippa and Amber, the other girls, none of the girls are in Amber's league. None of the girls are in Amber's league. As much as Marippa and the Amber character, none of them are in Amber's league. That's exactly why the podcast, she with them in that podcast business, don't move me. Let me just say that. Only I don't think Shana will let them buy her out because she don't want to go nowhere. Well, I don't think she have a say so in that though. Podcast will be a disaster for sure. Them in the Amber League, friends. That's just the deal. That's what Amber fans are not getting. Either the woman, either she is there or she's not there. They're not in Amber's league, friends. She can be a guest on the podcast, but them in our league. Seriously. Seriously, they're not in our league. Them not. They have nothing in common. They have nothing in common. Nothing in common. They're women who are looking for money from men. At least Amber does some amount of things for herself and goes to a business every day. With the exception of Delicia, who is a scammer as well too in her own business line. Anyways, friends, that is the Power Hour for this morning. You guys have been wonderful and the discussion has been wonderful. Let me say adieu and farewell for a little bit. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to talk to y'all soon. Have a wonderful morning. You'll see videos being uploaded. I'm going to talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the audio show. All I've got is just for you. You ready for my beef tonight? I'm okay, just treat me right. Come in, me people, come in, me friend. What you gonna do when you come to defend? Question ask, me answer them. Wheel it up and pull it up and mash again.